Hey, what's up, y'all? Big Willie here, and welcome back to another episode of our FTB Skies Expert Let's Play. So in today's episode, we are going to go over how I finalized getting our modular routers set up fixed for Ars Nouveau. We are also going to be setting up some essence automation of our essences to finish up the magically inclined steel automation. We're going to go back behind that and set up crystallizers to get ourselves more shards to be able to make the essences consistently. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so I tried to get everything prepared, and I did figure out how to address our issue we left hanging in last episode with our modular routers. So we have it working on a singular modular router setup here using a pattern provider. I had to, as I mentioned at the very end of the last episode, I had to move it 12 blocks away from the source links because otherwise the source links see your pattern provider as a receptacle for source and they fill it, and then your pattern provider can't return the craft. So then we have this set in blocking mode. And then we went over and we did our distributor module. You guys saw that. We did our sender module to send the drenched steel to the middle. We did the puller module to pull anything except our middle ingredients back. And then we did this is new. We're doing a sender module back out of this modular router into the pattern provider to send our finished product when it hits the buffer back out. It's that simple. So we programmed this one here with the each of the essences, they come in two at a time. This is set to only send them two at a time. Now, the problem we were having was it was sending our drenched steel first. So what I did to fix that was actually here in the pattern. So I noticed that drenched steel was the first item listed in the pattern. I went to my pattern provider. Let's go do it together so you guys can see. So over here. So what I had to do to fix it was I went to the pattern encoding terminal and I stuck it in here, and I just grabbed out a piece of drenched steel and 2 water essence. Don't try and do it with the whole stack, or you got to do the wheel click thing to adjust the quantity. And I took the drenched steel out of the first spot and I put the water essence where the drenched steel was and the drenched steel where the water essence was, and that changed the order it was sending it to the modular router. So now it leads with the essence every single time, and as long as it's in blocking mode, it doesn't send another set until the thing is empty, and it starts every time sending that set with the water essence. And because it can fill the pedestals one at a time, it cycles in and grabs everything, does it all in one block. That was what I had to do to fix it. Once you adjust your recipe, don't forget to hit encode pattern to make sure that it overwrites the settings that were on the pattern when you put it in there. Otherwise, it doesn't change it until you hit the button to rewrite it. Modular router right there. So now we should be able to, it'll take a little bit of time. I'll have to set up the modules for each of those other 2 items. That is not on the agenda for today's episode, but I really wanted to show you guys getting that finished because now it works. I can just tell it to make as many as I have the drenched steel for. I do still need to move that into a compacting drawer so that we have access to it in the block form. But yeah, that it shouldn't be that complicated to add that in, and you guys have seen things go in a compacting drawer. Now, on to today's episode. So we need to automate the making of the essences for all sorts of stuff. They get used for everything. It's going to be nice to have a buffer. So we're going to do that right over here on our channels for this area. We're going to pull it off, and it's going to take us 8 channels to do it, or not 8. It's going to take us 5 channels to do it the way I want to. But yeah, it should be fine. So I forgot to grab the storage bus. I told it to make it, but I never pulled it out. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to set up spruce drawers with pull modules and push modules on each of them above and below our liquid crystallizers. Now, I don't know if these P2P tunnels... Oh, wait, no, sorry, mixing it up. We're going to set up an export bus and a drawer controller for these. My bad. So these are going to be right here, and we're going to put them right here so that they have access to the source. We could, in theory, go back one more block, but this should be fine. Let's break you out and you out. I'm like jumping up and down like I don't have creative flight. Export bus. And then we're going to export bus on the top of each one of these. And then we just need some cable to bring it over. And then we're going to set each of these with one of the shards. And then we're going to put our extra shards in there. Okay, clears our inventory of that. And now we need to get our imbuement chambers. And these are going to go below. And then we're going to need pusher and puller times 4. So pusher upgrade. We've got 4 of them. Pullers. How are these not on autocraft yet? That's what I want to know. Puller, 2, 3. Oh god, I didn't want to make 8, but that's fine. So now, for the pusher, we're going to want them all to be to the down, which is perfect because that's the default, and it's going to push that down into there. And that'll get these crafting. These have access to this source down below, so they can pull the source to speed up the craft, which is fine because we're generating source at an exceptionally crazy rate right now. Then, on the row below it, we're going to put 4 of these, and we're going to put puller upgrades, but we want these to be to the up. So, if we put them in here, and we right-click it, it's going to pull from the up. Now, we're going to lock these drawers once it pulls one of the crafted ones to make sure that we don't end up, like, if we run one of them out, we end up with the shards in there, because that'll just make you have a bad day. Matter of fact, we can just pull these out to do that, to get some in there. And then tell you to pull from the up, and tell you to pull from the up. Okay, now, lock them all. We're actually going to lock both of them, even though there shouldn't be any way for things to get into those, but we're just going to. Now, on our channel here, we're going to need a drawer controller, but I have a feeling it'll probably be good for it to be more central to this whole area, so I'm going to put it right up here. We're going to put our storage bus off of our line here, and then our storage controller on it. We're going to get up there, set our priority, I don't know, 5, 6, something like that. 6 should be fine. Now, we're going to grab our linking tool, set it to this controller, make sure we're on add, and we are going to add these in. And now we have drawers that are accessible from our storage with these being crafted full time. But what if, like with air, we run out? Like, we have more than 2,000 of everything except air, but we don't have that many of air. Well, that is one of the next things that I'm going to try to get into. Now, this one I'm not exactly sure on because I've never gotten a mana P2P tunnel to work, but we're going to try it. So the crystallizers need mana to convert the liquids into the shards for us. And we don't need source or anything like that for it. This is actually, what is that? Elemental craft more than it is. whatever. I mean, we're feeding it to Ars, but I think it's probably more of elemental craft, but elemental craft is it's going to be a hot mess. This is going to need all them channels. Y'all, I'm nervous about all that. But I think we want to save room here for stuff that's all Ars based. So let's take this downstairs and let's set these up down here. And I'm doing this for two reasons. Because we kind of already have some mana being generated right here that's enough to run this one crystallizer, and you know, we could just replace that with like a mana pool and a spreader, you know, off the Fluix network or something, but we'll see. So let's grab out the right color cable. Light blue, there it is. Put our other cables up so we don't use the wrong ones. And now, so the plan for this is the crystallizers we're gonna need access to the top and the bottom of them. So I'm gonna bring them over like right here. Oh, and we're gonna need rotation too. Okay. Guess it'll be a job for a diesel generator or an electric motor. So we're gonna need smart cable across the top because we're gonna need export buses to export our liquid element, earth, water, fire, and air that we're generating over there in the corner into these. So one at a time, we're going to go, what is it? L-I-Q-E-L-E. Yep, that should get us there. So liquid, we'll do fire in the first one. And that's going in. And we will do earth in the next one. Air in this one, and water right here. And now we need P2P tunnels. Ooh, I wonder if that's going to stay in range of that drawer controller. It may or may not. It would suck to have to relink everything, but all right, we'll look at that when the time comes. Oh, we're not going to do it with drawers. We're going to do it with import. Or an ender chest, that's right. That's what we're doing. Because we already have drawers for all this. Cool. Cool. Good story. So now, this is the thing that I have not tried. So I think if we place it down and we right click it with this, it makes it a mana. Does it stay a mana if I break it? It does. Okay, so let's convert all these to mana. Which you do by right-clicking the P2P tunnel with any Botania item. Doesn't have to be a white petal, just any Botania item is supposed to do it. Now, where are we on channels? Ooh, that's going to be a problem. We'll have to bring some dents farther out. Because this is 8 right here. So let's grab out some of that dents and swap some of these cables. So we're going to swap you and you for some dents, and then we're gonna need dents to actually come all the way there, and then this cable doesn't need to be there. Cool. So that splits us off completely. Now we're only at 4 channels, and we can pop over here and tie in these and see if they're gonna feed mana. So I guess now on the other end of this, I've got to link another mana P2P to a pool. Is that how I have to do it? One more P2P. Mana P2P. Memory card. So now if I point this mana P2P at this mana pool, are there channels there? There are. And you need regular cable. And then now if I take you and we come out here, does that feed this with mana? I guess I won't know until I start turning it. So let's grab an electric motor. And a flux point, because these don't like wireless power, if I remember right. So flux point. And then if we go electric motor there, grab out our wrench, small cog, or is it just cog? Cog. Give you power. Question will be, does it make anything? Because if it doesn't make anything, then it's because it's not got mana, and our mana P2P tunnel isn't working. Boy, I would really like to learn how to use mana with my AE2. I'm just not getting it. Yeah, it's not doing the thing for me. Okay, y'all. This took a minute to figure out. I could not figure out those P2P mana tunnels. I'd tried before, thought maybe I could do it. The mana splitter will not feed them, so that didn't work either. It just won't export the mana. So I just made 4 Fluix mana pools, 4 Ellen mana spreaders, 1 for each one. This is probably best for like throughput and keeping these things cranking out the resources. And then I'm feeding them into an ender chest frequency, which was currently unused. It was used for something in the old base, and we had never just... it didn't need it over here. So I tied it in on this chest, and this will pump them into our regular storage system for us and turn them from the small shards that we get when we craft these ones into the big ones, which we can then extract over on the other side. So, yeah, that's perfect. That'll work just like we need it to. Using those export buses to export to those drawers. This will fill them up with the ones we need. This will make them indefinitely. And it does take 8 total channels, but it's forever done. We have infinite supply of all of the shards. Therefore, we have infinite supply of all of the essence, because we're making the fluid in infinite quantities. And yeah, that's it. If there's a better way, or you guys know of a better way to do this and get the mana into these liquid crystallizers, let me know. But honestly, it works. So I just tossed it over here on the subnet with our quantum assembler. And yeah, I mean, we were only using 1 channel, had 8 right here, had the space up here to do it. And I think it came out okay. I mean, you could probably put all this 1 block closer, but you know, just for troubleshooting. And then I'm using, like I said, logistical transporters into an ender chest, and since these all already had drawers, everything has a home, we are good to go. So now, where does that leave us on today's episode? I guess it leaves us with this elephant in the room. I started last time. I do want to get to it. Leaves us with this. I need to make a dedicated fabrication matrix to just make and back up on the Venus blaze rods. So yeah, that's a pretty big one that we need to get going. All right, y'all, didn't figure you needed to see me set up another fabrication matrix, but we set up a dedicated one that is going to just continually make Venus blaze rods for it. So I took advantage of learning about these entangled blocks, and I'm just using another one from our quantum assembler right here to have an export bus and an import bus. I filtered the import bus for the Venus blaze rods, so it'll only pull those out of the block. And I filtered the export with a crafting, a capacity, and a couple of accelerations, stuck it on round robin, and told it calorite ingots, and ultramafic lava. Flux point here, bypass limit so that it can have all the power it needs, and this will soon be full and continually making Venus blaze rods one after another instead of us having to wait on them to be crafted. Now we will leave the crafting recipe in the one downstairs for when we need things on, when we need Venus blaze rods for other things. So that we will do. But yeah, we are good to go. Good to go on Venus blaze rods. So yeah, I think honestly that is going to bring us to a wrapping up point for today. We got a bunch done. We got I showed you the modular routers. We set up automation for all the essences we needed and for the Venus blaze rods that we need for our calorite stuff. One of these takes it. Somewhere in here requires them. I don't remember where it was. Something in this process needs something that needs Venus blaze rods. I don't remember what it is, but we are getting closer to our trip to space. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching and putting up with my inane ramblings and figuring out Minecraft. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.